You know what's strange? The moment before you impulse buy, your body already knows the answer. Your breath changes, your chest tightens, your finger hesitates, and you still click, not because you want the thing, but because something inside you is trying to survive. Your body decides to spend before your brain catches up. Researchers at MIT found that the decision to purchase happens in your limbic system, the ancient emotional part of your brain, about 7 seconds before you consciously choose to buy. 7 seconds. That's how long you've already lost the game before you even know you're playing. What you feel as desire is actually your nervous system detecting a threat, not a physical threat. Something more insidious. The threat of feeling unseen, unworthy, left behind. Your body reads the emotional environment the way it would read a predator in the distance, and spending becomes the thing that makes the danger go away. Here's the trick your brain plays on you. When you see something you want, a pair of shoes, a gadget, a course that promises to change your life, your brain releases dopamine, but not when you get the thing. Before. Dopamine is the chemical of anticipation, not satisfaction. It's the promise, not the payoff. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky calls it the biology of maybe. And your brain is addicted to maybe, because maybe means hope. Maybe means you could become someone different, someone better, someone who finally has their life together. The purchase is just the vehicle. What you're really buying is a few minutes of relief from being yourself. Every impulse purchase is a vote for a version of you that doesn't exist yet. The you who works out every morning buys the expensive yoga mat. The you who's organized and calm buys the planner and the aesthetic desk setup. The you who's creative and free buys the art supplies you'll never open. You're not shopping for your current self. You're shopping for your phantom self, the one who lives in the future where everything is fixed, and the gap between who you are and who you're buying for. That gap is where the spending lives. It's where the shame lives, too. Because deep down, you know. You know that person isn't coming. You feel it most at night. That restless, empty feeling that makes you reach for your phone. You scroll. You see people living lives that look finished, complete, and yours feels like a rough draft. The comparison doesn't happen in your thoughts. It happens in your chest. A tightness, a small collapse. Your nervous system interprets this as isolation, a primal threat. Because for most of human history, being left out of the tribe meant death. Your brain doesn't know the difference between social exclusion and actual danger. So it does what it's designed to do. It seeks relief. And the fastest dopamine hit available? The buy button. One click and you're back in the game. You belong again, at least until the package arrives. Here's what's happening under the surface. When you impulse spend, you're trying to construct a feeling of safety out of objects. You're building an identity out of things because your sense of self feels temporary, unstable, like you could disappear if you stopped trying so hard. Psychologists call this self-concept fragility. It's the feeling that you're not quite real unless you're performing a version of yourself that others can see. The clothes, the gadgets, the decor, they're proof. Proof that you exist. Proof that you matter. But the proof never sticks. Because the thing you're really trying to buy isn't available on Amazon. It's the feeling of being enough, and that doesn't come in a box. And then the package arrives. You open it and feel nothing. Or worse, regret. The thing that promised transformation is just a thing. It doesn't fix you. It doesn't change anything. And now the shame starts. You tell yourself you're stupid, weak, out of control. You promise you'll stop. But here's what the shame does. It makes you feel worse. And feeling worse makes you want relief. And relief looks like another purchase, another promise, another hit of dopamine. You're not addicted to spending. You're addicted to escaping the feeling that you're broken. And the spending is just the method. The shame keeps you locked in the cycle. Because shame doesn't motivate change. It motivates hiding. Your body remembers every purchase your mind wants to forget. There's a physical cost to this pattern that most people don't talk about. The tightness in your stomach when you check your bank account. The shallow breathing when another delivery arrives. The way your shoulders creep up toward your ears when you think about money. This is your nervous system stuck in a loop of threat and relief, and your body doesn't know how to feel safe anymore. Because safety isn't something you can buy. It's something you have to build from the inside, through breath, through presence, through the very uncomfortable work of sitting with the feeling instead of spending it away. What nobody tells you is that underneath the impulse spending, there's grief. Grief for the life you thought you'd have by now. Grief for the person you thought you'd be. Every purchase is a small burial. You're mourning the gap between expectation and reality, between who you are and who you were supposed to become. And grief is heavy, too heavy to hold. So you spend it away. You trade it for objects, for distractions, for anything that lets you not feel it. But the grief doesn't go away. It just gets more expensive. And one day you wake up surrounded by things you don't need, still holding the feeling you were trying to escape. But here's the part where everything shifts. What if the impulse isn't the problem? What if it's information? Your nervous system is trying to tell you something. It's trying to say, I don't feel safe, I don't feel seen, I don't feel enough. And instead of punishing yourself for the spending, what if you listened? What if you paused, right there in that moment before you click, and asked, what am I actually trying to feel right now? Not what am I trying to buy? What am I trying to feel? Because once you name it, you can meet it, not with a purchase, with presence, with breath, with the radical act of staying with yourself instead of abandoning yourself for a package that won't arrive for 3 days. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're someone whose nervous system learned that love and safety come with conditions, that you have to earn your place, that you're only as valuable as what you produce or perform or present. And spending became the language your body uses to say, please see me, please tell me I'm worth it. But you don't need permission anymore. You don't need proof. The work isn't to stop spending. The work is to stop abandoning yourself, to notice the urge without obeying it, to feel the discomfort without medicating it, to build a sense of self that doesn't require external validation to exist. This is the hardest work you'll ever do, and it doesn't cost a thing. So the next time your finger hovers over that button, take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the urge like weather passing through. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to fix it. You just have to see it. Because you're not the person who can't stop spending. You're the person who's learning to stay, to be here, to be enough without the package, without the proof, without the performance. And that version of you, that's not the phantom self. That's the real one. The one who was always here, waiting for you to come home. If this hit home for you, please subscribe. And if you want to support these deep dives, hit that join button to become a channel member. I would genuinely appreciate your support.